I kind of got into some bad habits, like I said, like partying a bunch and, started smoking cigarettes a bunch. And I kind of, try to turn my life around. And, first thing was like quitting smoking cigarettes. And this is when I lived in like Awatuki, and I had a nice apartment complex that had like a basketball hoop, right outside in the complex that we could use. And I just started like shooting around after I quit smoking. I was like fidgety and all just like stressed out about trying to quit. And so I just, every day after work, I'd come home and I would just shoot. And I just kept doing it like for months. I'd never played basketball growing up. So it's something that like you can imagine, you've probably seen basketball players or football players on the basketball court with the terrible handles. So like it was brutal for a while. But once I could start hitting my shots, like I could really just feel it on the release, and it just started to feel like really good. And then I'd have random dudes come out and be like, "You want to play 1v1 or whatever?" And some just trash 2-on-2 games with just random people. And I just kept with it. I pushed through all those just terrible years of playing. And just when I thought I was getting good, I went to like a real gym where they play real full court pickup basketball, and I was like, "Oh, here we go. This is a whole other thing." So then, I sucked for another year or two before I could, hold my own enough. Obviously, I played football and wrestled and stuff, so like the physical part and the moving part, it wasn't like too intimidating, but just the skill stuff was a little rough, starting. But yeah, I just fell in love with it, and like my life kind of started turning around, and I started making a lot more positive choices, eating good, trying to take care of myself. I just started feeling good, and good things started to happen, and like I owe so much of that to basketball. Yeah, it's been 25 years, like probably 2-3 days a week of just pick up basketball. I think probably just went to Walmart and picked up like the cheapest basketball they had, and just started shooting, and it just all snowballed from there. Like, it's not even a push, it's just a pull. Like I need to be there. Like I just love it. I feel alive. I get to use everything I have. Like I really think of basketball as like a creative thing too. It's all improvisation, it's psychology, you're reading people, and it's just like you're using your full everything, your mind, your intuition, your body. And it's just like I leave there just feeling completely reset, and it's obviously it's like a camaraderie too. I've been playing with the same guys for years, and it's just like, it's just a really like grounding thing for me. So like I need to do it. Like if I don't get to play for, a few days or a week, or I'm just like, oh, I got to get some runs in. So that's kind of how the old man hooping started. Was I would go on work trips. I'm a photographer, so I'll fly around. I shoot like some commercial stuff, and I shoot a bunch of weddings and events and things. And so wherever I would travel for work, I would always just try to find like outdoor stuff, especially in the winter in Minnesota, like to trying to escape. And like if I can be outside and it's warm and there's palm trees and I can shoot around and play, like, obviously that is just a beautiful thing. So I just figured, I might as well just start this, just document what I've been doing. And that's kind of how it all started. Yeah, and it's like the same group of dudes. It's funny because, I started 25 years ago doing this. Now it's kind of like this new group. It's kind of been an evolution here in the past like 3 to 5 years of like completely different guys. But, after like a year or two, like you see these guys outside of basketball, and it's just like you light up like, "Hey, oh, what's up? You still hooping? Yeah, cool." It's just like this cool camaraderie. And yeah, it's just the different groups have evolved over the years. It all started really with this Fort Lauderdale court. So I don't know if you've been following my Instagram. They were going to take the court out and replace it with pickleball. And it was a big controversy. They were kind of trying to get rid of the basketball culture on the beach there, and with the local Florida beach ballers. And, I kind of helped, fight alongside of them. And they actually reversed it, and they're going to actually improve the courts and keep them. It's a beautiful thing. But this was just... I was down in Florida shooting like a big event for like EY, Ernst & Young, like a big conference. And like I was just searching on Google, like where's cool basketball courts, or like where do people play? There wasn't very much information online, way back when I was first looking at it. And then, I saw on Google Maps that there's a court, and it looks like it's like on the beach. And I'm like, what? I do my shoot, and then I drive. I think the shoot was actually in Orlando. And so then I always just put on like a day or two extra, especially in the winter, to get out of the cold cold here. So, I think I stayed a couple days, and so I just drove down there, and I got to this court, and I was like, what the hell? Like, this is unbelievable. Just palm trees with coconuts hanging over you, and just there's two full courts, like literally sand is piling onto the court, and it's just, it's a little windy and breezy and stuff, but like you can hear the ocean crashing. And then like we played, and I was just like, this is heaven, like. And then this local dude's like, yeah man, you want some coconut water or whatever. He climbs up a tree, and like we crack the coconuts, and we're just drinking them on the court. And I was like, what? I was like, there's got to be more courts like this out there, so then it kind of like that really like ignited it. And then I started just kind of doing more research, and wherever I traveled, try to find more unique courts. And then I started the whole project, and then I realized there's all kinds of other dudes that were already doing this too. So then you can look at like what they were doing and find courts you want to go to. And now I have like a Google map list of just like thousands of courts all over that I've either been to or want to go to. I got all my pro camera gear with me and stuff, and I got the drone, and then obviously like I'm playing, and so it's just easy to like make super cool content around it. And the feedback has been great too, so that's always exciting. And just kept building from there. I wish I could just do this full time, but we're working on it. There's another court that's like breathtaking too. It's Angels Gate Park in San Pedro, California. It sits up on like a high hill kind of cliff overlooking the Pacific Ocean, and it's just like, I mean, I'm sure you've seen photos of it online. It's just unbelievable. You look at it like, is this even real? When you take pictures of it, the vantage point, from the court, you see the hill goes down. It looks like if you miss a shot, like the ball is just going to roll off into the ocean or infinity. It's just unbelievably beautiful. I hope I can just keep going, keep playing, and keep playing at like a decently high level, so I can shoot. So like that's kind of the foundation, where if you can shoot and knock down your wide open shots, you can pretty much be on the court at any time. Obviously defense and stuff is going to get harder, but like that's kind of my whole goal with the old man hooping thing, is like I really want to like play and like play really well. Like I want to be like the best 80-year-old basketball player in the world. Like that's kind of like my goal. I have so many ideas, just not enough time to execute everything. But yeah, I want to do a bunch of stuff in there, kind of like help other guys get back into basketball and stay young and stay hooping. So I want to like kind of give back that way as well. I got some cool ideas, just talking about in-depth stuff about the game of basketball. I'm working on my first like video. It's pretty complex, going into all the psychology of the games. I've been diving into the psychology of like bonding hormones and endorphins and dopamine and like oxytocin, and like all this stuff happens with these random strangers, and we can come from all different walks of life, and like yet you can leave there feeling like this is your brother. Even on social media, people kind of pretend, have this persona until you get into like a crisis with this person or something. You can't really tell who they are. But in basketball, like the second play, you know who they are. It's just like reveals everything. There's no hiding behind it. It's just like your mistakes are public, your wins are public, and it's like, it's just such a cool thing. So I'm kind of diving into the psychology of the game and the camaraderie and everything like that too. So I got a bunch of cool stuff coming, and I plan on doing this for, until I die.